All right, what's going on, guys? It's been a couple years since I've done one of these truck driving adventure video blogs. The reason I haven't done one is I just spent the last couple years driving locally. What's the point of doing a truck driving video blog if you drive local? I did drive local. Everyone seems to be baffled when I tell them that I drove local and now I'd switch back to over the road, and they're, why would you do that? Reasons for me, my home life is great. My family life is great. I love my wife. I love my kid, my dogs. You know, everything's really good at home. The reason for me was when you're local, you cannot claim per diem. I claim per diem. Some guys say it's a bad idea. I have always loved per diem because you take home more of your check each week, but you do get a little bit less of a tax return. I made almost the same amount of money when I was over the road till the time I switched local. The difference in tax returns were like not even $1,000. So you just get a little bit less in tax return money, but you take home so much more. I remember when I was over the road, you know, my check's $1,200, taking home $950 of it. You know, it was great. I was just, you can't beat it. So but that's part of the reason, because when I drove local, I worked for Saya and I worked for Cox Petroleum. I worked for Saya for about a year, worked for Cox for almost a year. The reason I quit Saya was because I was on local P&D, which it's very stressful, but I can handle stress pretty well. It was you're making a good hourly wage, but you're only getting 7 hours a day after your lunch and stuff like that. So I'd come into work at 10:30 and they'd send me home at 5:30. So, you know, which sounds good, but in Southern California that doesn't cut it. So I did line haul with them for a while too, but that's hard because it's running through the night, which I hate. I mean, I can do it, but I really don't like it, because when you're local and you work nights, you come home and you spend your whole day sleeping, and your weekends are the first day you're home, you spend it all day sleeping, getting up at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night to try to stay on schedule, and your family's getting ready for bed. So you only have like Sunday with them. You know, it was just a lot driving. It didn't really, you make good money. I drove blind haul with them, which was good. The reason I quit, again, was taxes, and both of the companies were putting in the driver-facing cameras. Saya was putting them in. Cox already had them when I applied. I didn't know they had them until after I started, so that was something that sucked. But everyone says, well, you drive with those driver-facing cameras, it's not really a problem unless you're doing something wrong, which I don't text and drive, but they have like a no Bluetooth policy too. That's what people don't realize, that when they put these cameras in, they now get to make rules differently. So they'll tell you, oh, it's just the cameras, just do everything like you normally do, just don't text and drive. Great. No, they always have new rules, new parameters, new this, new that. With Saya, no Bluetooth at all. So you're driving line haul straight through the night, 300 miles one way, 300 miles back, can't touch your Bluetooth. So that sucked. Because it helps keep you awake, especially when you work nights. I switched over to their P&D side, wasn't getting enough hours, so I said, well, let's go try Cox Petroleum. I did do local fuel hauling, which pays pretty good, but you get the hell taxed out of you. My checks were like right around $2,400 every other week, but that was gross. You're talking $450 taken out of that in taxes, another $250 in health insurance. So, you know, your checks would be, you know, $2,400, but you take home $17, which comes out to, you know, about $850 a week. You know, in California, that's not enough to live. My rent alone is $1,200 a month. You know, my state tax is $100 a week, almost. You know, it's just too, you know, so it didn't cut it. So I said, let's try maybe going back over the road again for a little while, get caught up. I found a company called Prime Logistics LLC. These guys turned out great. I've been here about a month. Everything they told me over the phone they did not bullshit about. I did find them, and I have always known that lease purchases are a scam. They are. Companies like Swift, Werner, John Christner, stuff like that, they only pay you $1 a mile loaded when they're charging the customer $3 a mile. You know, $2.50 a mile, and they're only paying you $1, and you're covering all the fuel and all the maintenance. So they're getting $1.50 a mile for absolutely nothing. They don't have to cover fuel, they don't have to cover maintenance, they don't have to cover shit. So it's a scam. Being a lease purchase operator is a scam most of the time. Found these guys. They say we got 2012 to 2015 Volvos or Freightliners, $1,300, anywhere from $1,100 a month to $1,600 a month, depending on how new the truck is. So I went with Freightliner. They do have Volvos with Cummins, but the only Volvo with the Cummins they had when I was there was a automatic, and I don't have a problem driving automatic. I really don't. But I don't want to own an automatic. If I'm going to buy a truck, I don't want to own it. And two, there's a lot of drivers out there that can only drive automatic. So I figured if someone needed it, I would let them have it. So I said, well, I like Detroit anyway. Of all the trucks I've ever had, I've driven Peterbilts, I've driven Kenworths, I've driven Freightliners, I have driven ProStars. My Peterbilt that I had, my Peterbilts were always in the shop. My Kenworth was good. That truck was that truck was a good truck. I know they have the same engines, but I don't know why the Kenworth seemed to be better than the Peterbilt. And then I drove a ProStar, which lived in the shop. That truck was I eventually just gave up. I was like, if you guys don't give me something different than a ProStar, I'm going to quit. So it was bad. So I digress. Anyway, I found I don't mind the truck that I picked. I got it it's $1,300 a month. They do have a no balloon payment at the end, and they told me from the beginning, lease purchase guys get 90% of the freight. That is good. That's good to me, because even owner operators, after they pay brokers and agents, the guys who operate under their own authority get only 90 to 95% of the load. So I said, well, why not? And they're saying, oh, $2 to $2.50 a mile on average, which has not been a lie. I've done loads for $4 a mile here. I've done loads for $3.80 a mile. I did a load earlier this week for it was $3.70 or $3.80. It was 1,100 or 300 miles, paid $1,200. They have lived up to that, and they lived up to things like, they say, okay, if you lease purchase, we cover 30 days, the first 30 days, complete warranty. You find anything wrong with the truck, we'll cover it. They lived up to that. As you can see, I'm sitting in Illinois right now. Well, you guys, you can't see that, but I am sitting in Illinois right now, and the reason for it is I'm on a 34, but my truck had to get some work yesterday. Noticed some problems, said, hey, my warranty is like less than a week away from expiring, might as well get them fixed. $2,800 worth of work was done to this truck, which is typical maintenance. The wiring harness for the DEF system went out, which was big, and then that caused the DEF pump to go out, which in turn caused the fuel injector I guess the DEF system has its own fuel injector, the 7th fuel injector, and that went out. So that all combined came to $2,800. Company paid it, no problem, because that's what they said they would do. That's really the only problem I've had with this truck so far. It's been a good truck. I've been driving it, like I said, about a month now. All of their loads have paid me. Since I've been here, I'm on the cheapest load I've ever been on, and that's just because I wanted to get out of Florida. And all the loads were paying the same out of Florida, $1.60, $1.70, but they were all heavy. This load was paying $1.60 a mile. It's like 1,500 miles for 1,500 miles for $2,700 or something like that. Plus they're going to add some detention on top of it, a couple $100 for having to sit at the shipper for 7 hours. But it was only 7,000 pounds, so it's like essentially it's like driving empty, so it's saving a little bit on fuel. So I was like, why not? And it gets me out of Florida, because Florida, I don't know why Florida sucks. It pays good going in, just never pays good going out. That's like the third time I've been to Florida in the last month, and it's the same every time. But they were usually like $1.90, $1.95. But like I said, the loads vary here. I have no complaints about these guys. Everything they told me over the phone has been truthful. They get you loads, they keep you busy. They're called Prime Logistics LLC, and they are not related to Prime Inc. This is owned by a family of Bulgarians out of Chicago. And I've never worked for Bulgarian people before, but it has been an absolute joy so far. I had recommended the company to a guy at a truck stop who was looking for work, and I was telling him about the lease purchase and about how they pay 90%. He was like, oh, that sounds good. I gave him my phone number. He called the company and said, he called me back. He called me the next day, and I said, oh, how'd it go? You call him? He's like, yeah, but they all have an accent there. I'm like, yeah, they're all Bulgarian. He's like, yeah, well, I'm not working for no tracksuit wearing faggots. I said, oh, shit, well, it's your loss then. I hate racism. My old lady's Hispanic. I don't like it. So his loss, the way I see it, is it's his loss, because these guys have been nothing but good to me. They're funny. we're cracking jokes the whole time. Orientation's only a day. You know, if you fly in and you get there early enough on Monday, they do orientation Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If you get there Monday afternoon, they're going to send you to go get the drug test as soon as you fly in. They're only like 12 miles from the airport, so the Uber only cost me like $13 or $14 to take it from the airport to the drug test clinic, and another like $8 to take it from the clinic to the hotel. So, and then they pick you up from the hotel. They'll set you up with a hotel and stuff too. So, but they do send you to do your drug test. That way you do your orientation the next day for 5 hours, and then you go. I couldn't be more pleased with these guys. Honestly, if you're considering it, you know, give them a shot. Worst case, you don't want to come on as a lease purchase. You can come on as a company driver, and they pay you 50 cents a mile, and all you have to do is have 6 months of experience. That's it. And if you decide after a month or two that you like being a company driver, then you can stay a company driver. If you want to try out the lease purchase because you like the way they operate, you can do that too. They'll even let you keep the same truck. Just you'll start leasing the truck that you've been driving. So they do cover the first 30 days of maintenance. I you know, $2,800. I had to get some work done. Nothing that they told me has been a lie so far, and they're fun people to work for. And like I'll give you this as an example. The very first load I did with them was paying $4,200 to go from La Crosse, Wisconsin to Sonnet, Massachusetts. 1,100 miles, $4,200. So you do the math. Just little things like that, you know, like that was a good paying load. I did a load earlier this week, 300 miles, paid $1,200. So that's $4 a mile, or it was 315 miles or something like that, and $1,200. So you're looking at $4 a mile minus probably, I don't know, a couple $100 in fuel. You made $1,000 in a night, you know. They do really good here. I'm very pleased with them. If you're considering Prime Logistics, you've seen them on Facebook. I recommend them. I mean, you'll be happy. The only thing that I have bad to say about them that I don't like is how you have to give them the trip pack paperwork. They have to have it in their hands on Monday if you want to get paid for it on Friday. So you really only have till Thursday to send it out. If you want to get paid for something on the following Friday, you got to send it by Thursday or Friday the latest, and that's pushing it because it's 2 business days with Trip Pack Express. So if they pick it up Friday, that's Saturday and Monday, you know, because Sunday's not a business day. So they do Saturday and Monday, and they're not going to get it till Tuesday, which means you're not going to get paid till the following week. So that's the only thing I don't like, but it sometimes works out when you're going home, because while you're at home, you'll still get a good check, and then once you go back out on the road, the check will be a little bit short, you know, however it works. But so far, I'm very pleased with these guys. Been here about a month, been running really hard. I had to get the work done, so I decided last night, because the load was I'm supposed to deliver in North Platte, Nebraska. I was supposed to deliver today at 3, and it's now 3:30. So, and I'm in Illinois, Southern Illinois, Mount Vernon. The reason it didn't deliver was because I had those issues, and I wanted to get them fixed because my warranty's a few days from expiring. So I said, let's get it done. Let's just get it done. They lived up to it. They paid everything without a problem. Gave the guy the MasterCard over the phone, said, go ahead and charge it. Charged him $2,854, something like that, for the work that needed to be done. But the truck's a good truck. I'm very pleased with these guys. If you're considering them, give them a shot. I don't know if I get a referral bonus or not. I think I do. But if you know, go ahead and write me down if you want. My name is Richard Charette. It's in my YouTube name, but it's Richard, and then the last name is Charette. I think I do get a bonus, a little referral bonus. I don't think it's much. I think it's probably like $250, but hey, fuck it, why not? Anyway, you got any questions, go ahead and ask me. You could ask me in the comments. You could ask me however you want. So far, I'm very pleased. So if this is your choice, good luck to you. And I'll keep you guys updated with my adventures. I'm back on the road. So God bless. Talk to you later.